What's up, this is a comprehensive guide for map 13 of the Spring 2022 campaign. I will show a bunch of clips from my own replay, but also some from Schmanuel's world record. You know it's from his run when you see his skin. The map starts off with a short drive to a wall ride and you might think there is not much to gain here, but you would be wrong. On plastic, like on all surfaces except ice, you can perform a speed slide where you hold your car at a slight angle and it gives you a boost. This can be exploited by wiggling your car back and forth, which causes your tires to break traction and puts you in a small slide. Here, the world record gains roughly 5 speed on a run which did not use this technique. This doesn't sound like much, but I think the wall ride really punishes lower speeds. There are a couple of things to watch out for when trying the wiggle for yourself. First off, I don't use action keys and neither does the world record. Also, a small tap to the left once you are roughly halfway through the booster helps align you so that you can go mostly straight on plastic. Also, the game lets you keep the acceleration of the booster for a short time period after leaving it, so don't steer right away. This can cost you lots of time, so really watch out for it. I recommend starting the wiggle on a left tap, meaning you tap left 2 times in a row, once on the booster and again after clearing it. Aim to reach a speed above 310 before getting into the wall ride with wiggle or 305 without. Even if you don't go for the wiggle, stay low for as long as possible and then enter the wall ride rather steeply. You should still be able to get 5th gear before the drop. In comparison to my auto medal, you can save 15 speed and 0.3 seconds to the first checkpoint by doing this. The wiggle only accounts for 5 speed and 0.1 seconds. A drop follows. You can see the world record set himself up for the following turn by steering left and then cancelling his rotation with a right tap before the drop. It is important to get 5th gear before jumping because your car will refuse to accelerate for a short time period if it shifts on plastic while sliding. An air brake is also recommended to assure your car lands flat and starts accelerating immediately. Ideally, we want to land in a slide at a small angle and hold this all the way to the asphalt. This gains another 5 speed in comparison to not sliding at all just in this short section. The following corners are taken full speed and we want an exit that allows us to go over the blue asphalt section right here, while also not having to steer much on plastic. To do this, we want a rather early apex in the first turn, which causes us to run wide in the middle and allows for a tight exit. If you are running wide on plastic, let your car run wider in the middle of the asphalt section so that you can get the same exit. If you are going for the bugslide, speed sliding this entire straight including the asphalt section is rather valuable, since jumping further and entering the bugslide later will save lots of time. Now comes an asphalt turn. There are a couple of strategies you might consider here. The fastest way to turn at a speed above 450 is a speed slide. In order to have a chance to get this, we would have to run wide in the plastic section, and even with 30 less speed than the world record, you can see this is a pretty close call and I oversteer at the end of the turn, which causes me to no longer gain speed. So the only working options are to drive it normally or to no slide, and both of these kind of work as long as you are not super fast. But the no slide gives you a tighter turn radius, which gives you a better line. If you want to no slide, just stop steering some distance before the asphalt and wait until all tires are on the new surface before steering again. If you don't get a no slide, you either waited too long to start steering on asphalt or you stopped steering too early on plastic. To bugslide the next turn, you need to have quite a bit of speed and you need to steer full left before the jump. Now your car will rotate in midair and you can modulate how much this happens by steering into or against the rotation. As soon as your car is flat, we want to air brake to stop it rotating further. The timing for this varies quite a bit. The angle at which we need to land is a rather precise 90 degrees, and if you land really late because you have a great speed, you can hold left most of the time. If you are slower, tap left while holding throttle and brake. You can screw this part up in many ways. For example, you can over or under rotate, which causes you to slide out or lose your speed. You can go over the penalty grass, which will cost you some speed, but this is still faster than driving this normally. You can also not run wide enough in the turn, which causes you to not have enough time to straighten out your car before the booster. This will cost you massive amounts of speed for the next section. The rest of the map is rather straightforward but still difficult. We want to jump down with an air brake and set up to the left. At these high speeds, a short release will cost us much less than attempting to slide this turn, so that is what we do. Now comes a long slide where I sometimes release a little. I find this section quite hard since I don't always have the same speed, so I can't just memorize a point where I need to start the slide. If you have good speed, the slide needs to start before the checkpoint. The last turn can usually be done full speed if you have a good entry, but you might need to release if you messed up. Now we just drive into the finish. I like this map a lot, and since there is some kind of a weird trick in it, I was able to almost get top 200 without a lot of time spent. I also managed to get much better runs to the checkpoint after the bugslide with half a second save, but didn't manage to drive it home. Anyway, that's the video. See ya.